Hi. So, I've noticed that there are a lot of people who complain about women being in positions of power today and how that is not good for society, all of this, all of that. But it didn't just happen by coincidence. It is a deliberate effort by the people who are in control of the chessboard to ensure that when they want an instruction being carried out, it isn't, it is more easier. Yes, regardless of what it is. So I think women being in positions of power today was literally an architectural design. And why is that? Women are more agreeable. It is more easier to control women in positions of power than it is to control men. Women are less argumentative, women are more cooperative, women are more agreeable. So when you tell a woman, "Hey, I want this carried out like this, like that," they might not really consider the long term. They might just take it for what it is and go with the narrative. It's more easier. So I think that is why a lot of our media, a lot of even the politics today, we have a lot of women taking leadership roles, and that isn't a coincidence. It is by design. And in the future, I think we're going to have more women in positions of power, in leadership positions, to do what the elites ask them to do, or carry out the plans of those who are pulling the strings behind the curtains. And come to think of it, isn't it amusing how they make you think like you are participating, or they give you a sense, an illusion of control, really, like you are participating in selecting who is actually going to lead you, when in reality you're not even in control of anything. They just created this illusion, excuse me. They just created this illusion to make you feel like, oh, I am voting for my candidate. Your candidate has already been selected, because your candidate is going to be serving the best of their interests. And when they find the person who's going to be serving the best of their interests, he will be selected before your votes. All of that is just a stage play, it's just a way to while away, or to make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm actively participating in selecting someone who is going to make a difference to my nation, my country, my society. But that person has already been selected, and he will be selected regardless, and they're going to use all this stage play of the candidates debating each other, making all these rallies, going state to state, garnering support, all of that. But they already know who to pick. They already know who's going to be the president, even before all of that. So it's just a waste of time, really. And I think with women being selected in positions of power, that is just going to make it even way more convenient for the elites. So votes are actually illusions created for the masses to feel like they're active participants in the game of the elite. Meanwhile, the candidates have already been handpicked because they are better suited to serve the plans of the people who run the show. That's all it is. You and I are not the ones voting for anything. We're not the ones voting, bruv. Those people have already been handpicked because there is already a plan on ground, and if they're willing and ready to execute and carry out those plans, they are going to be selected to be the leaders of a said nation, of a said country, regardless of who they are. Every president is a puppet. You can say the only exceptions are the dictators, the ones who, like your Kim Jong Un, your Putins, King the Xi Jinpings, because everyone answers to someone. The presidents didn't get there on their own. They knew there were terms and conditions for the shoes that they were going to fill. Presidents come and go, those who run the world remain. All right. So the presidents are more like the perfect puppets, because whether you vote or not, your candidate is, or the person who is supposed to rule is going to be handpicked. So your votes are just going to serve as more of a decoy, like, oh, this certain amount of people voted for the person we already selected, so woo, hooray, we can go home, pop our champagne because our candidate won. Well, if you feel that way, if it makes you feel better. But I think the world is run more differently than we think. And there is no way that the people in power would give the people they are ruling so much power, as much as to pick who is going to be in power. I don't think it's possible. Because those who own the chessboard are working towards their own self-interest. And if you're going to come in between that, of course, you know what happens to people who come in between their interests, right? You and I know very well. So I don't think it is in their I don't think it's in their interest to give the masses that amount of power to be in control. So I think it's an illusion. The votes are an illusion. Your opinions of having a say is an illusion. We really don't have a say. And some of my rich friends tell me that there is no freedom, really. You think you're free when you have money, only to find out that, oh my goodness, you're not. You might be able to fly to places, but even then, you're still restricted by certain things, for certain things, So really, the world we live in is just being given towards us an illusion of having free will. But really, is anyone ever free in this world? I think only dead men are free. Someone said it. Only dead men are actually free. But you and I, as long as we live in this world, we are not free. Far from it. We are always under the control of someone or something, an institution, an organization, a corporation, whatever. We are all under that. And imagine the corporations are the ones who actually sponsor most of these politicians, right? The individuals, the billionaires who own those corporations. And if you're not going to serve their interests, what makes you think that they're going to pick you to run down their business, to make them lose all their hard-earned money that they have worked for what? Decades. The amount of money that their grandparents have left them as inheritance. You're coming to make it less valuable. Oh, if you're not making me more money, you have no business being the president of this country. You have no business. You have no say. So anyway, you get my point. That is the thought I've been having. I don't think you and I votes count. Those who have been picked already. I think the next president of a country has already been selected, be it America, wherever. I think they have already been selected, that this is the person that is going to rule, and for this reason. And when you are coming to rule, this is what I want you to do. It's the same thing with Trump. It happened with Trump. There was a deal, I think, he signed with Netanyahu about starting the Iran war, right? And when he first got into office and was trying to delay, Netanyahu was pumping the gas pressure. It was like, hey, you have to do this now. It's now or never. If you don't do it, we're going to do it regardless, kind of. So he had to. So most people were saying, we voted, but this isn't why we voted Trump, because you weren't the one who voted for Trump. You were not the one who voted Trump into office. The people who voted him got him there for a reason, and he has to carry out their plans. He is there to oversee the transfer of power from America to the global south, and that is what is currently happening. So those are my thoughts.